This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 233 of This is the G Podcast. Yes, episode 233. Welcome. Before we get started, y'all, can we just take a moment, and give some love to Sha'Carri Richardson, man. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brought home some silver.
And some gold.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I got to give it to her. I mean, a couple of years ago, they clowned her, man, and just really threw her under the bus. Jokes being made, and just to see her overcome this year, man, and see the emotion, man, it was just amazing. I'm really happy for her family. Well, she was raised by her aunt and her grandmother, I think, and lost her mother. She went through a lot. So shout out to her, Dallas, Texas. She won silver in the 100, and of course in the 4x100 she won the gold. So kudos to her, man. Long journey. Yes.
Yes.
And also I gotta say shout out to the break dancers. Yes. Talib. Talib Shabazz in the building. What's up, Talib? I gotta ask you, man, before we get rolling into the serious stuff. Come on, man. Come on.
It's funny because that's my big takeaway of the week.
Okay, you got to give it all up. Save some of it.
Yo, man, it's phenomenal. I love to see it. It's amazing to think that something that started, just out of boredom, out of lack, can come to, such a platform as the Olympics and in that competition, in the spirit of competition, because breakdancing started as battling anyway.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm loving it.
And the beauty of it is the joy, man, you see from these countries. I mean, the Asian kids have just taking it to a new level.
Exactly.
But, I was watching Ukraine and France. And, some people, there's not enough melanin, not enough black. But, if you and I have had this discussion before, Talib, back in the day, it was more like the Puerto Rican kids, the Hispanic, the Latin kids who were really hitting that card.
Yes.
They were doing the breaking.
Right.
We
were popping.
That's
how it was, right? Exactly. We were standing doing stuff. The break dancing was always the PRs, and then it became the Filipinos.
Yes.
When you look out at the Bay Area, that whole scratch pick, the whole scratch pickle scene, DJ Q-Bert, Mixmaster Mike, and those crew, that was the whole Filipino influence. And these guys are, like you said, they've taken it to the next level. So, the fact that, there's no way possible that you could have really seen a lot of melanin in the breakdance because of the fact that we no longer do it like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We did it for 40 years. And you know how black folks do. We're on to the next.
On to the next. But it's just really, man, a beautiful thing to watch and to see and joyous, really. And it's just exciting, man. I'm glad they added it to the Olympics. It's funny because as we tape, I'm watching, kind of got it on in the background, man. It's a beauty to watch. It's a beauty to watch for us who grew up on hip hop, man. Without a doubt. Got to say what's up again. You've heard him, the Howie, the Hitman is in the building.
Thanks for the invitation. How you guys doing today?
One and only. Good. We all got to go to Vi's celebration today, so Vi is taking the day off, and I think he's taking next week off as well. It's just the birthday
60,
month.
You can't do it like you used to.
You need some recovery time.
Yeah, you gotta have recovery, man. Free limb and recovery.
Right.
So yes, let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all. I gotta say, and I'll just go ahead and start with this clip. And this will kind of get us into the first part of the discussion. Here we go.
To his former high school students, he was Mr. Waltz. to his former high school football players, he was coach. Coach. And in 91 days, the nation will know Coach Waltz by another name, Vice President of the United States. So,
yes, again, this is the G Podcast. Each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea with the one and only Tonya B. And it's a brand new race, y'all. You know, you've got the vision casted this week of Harris and Walz versus the vision of Trump and Vance. And we're looking at really two starkly different visions. You know, last week I kind of narrowed it down. I'm not going to pat myself on the back. You know, I'm not y'all can do it if you want, but I'm not, you know, but I did say it was either going to be Bashir or Walz. And I think the choice of Bashir is the right choice. I mentioned last week, you know, there were some issues with Bashir based on his abortion views. And you just couldn't have that with the president running, you know, as a woman of pro-choice and, you know, and abortion rights and a woman's right to choose. So Walz is the right choice, I think. I want to go to you first, Howie. You've had a week or almost a week to kind of stew on this, couple of days. You know, how are you feeling about this ticket?
Hey, I'm excited about the take. Originally, I thought it would be Bashir as well, simply because he's a governor in a red state. He kind of brings that whole Midwest and Rust Belt together. But because of his views, Waltz was the right guy. And I wrote down some notes. I was like, he's kind of like the American dream. You know, you go to college, you go to the service, you teach school, you work your way up. Now he's going to be vice president of the United States. That's kind of the American dream. That's why I think he's a good coach. On top of that, he got some really good ideas. And I was talking to someone the other day, and I love the Republicans, but they try to make good things bad. He gave, what do I want to call it? Tampons and everything to every foster K in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And now they started calling tampon Tom or something like that. I'm like, this is a great deal because a lot of young ladies miss school or can't concentrate in school because they can't buy these products. He made it readily available to them, and the Republicans are trying to make it into something negative. I think he's the right person. He has no stocks, so no big stock portfolio. He don't own a home. He sold his last home for just over $300K, and that's him going in when he comes out with a few kind of dollars he have. But he's kind of the man of the people, so I think he was the right choice. I was hoping for someone a little bit young and flashy, but he's my age, so he is young and flashy, right?
He's the same age as the president. I mean, you know, they're both 60. Yeah, they're both.
And he comes across as likable. So yeah, I think he's the American dream type of person to have. It's a good choice.
Yeah. Talib, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say that Walz was probably the most blue-collar pick I've seen in politics in my voting time.
Right.
You know, this is a guy who, you know, I don't know if I haven't really seen him, you know, if anything, I haven't seen anything of whether he's taking big PAC money or anything like that. But the fact that, you know, this man, I was watching some report, but the man has no big retirement. You know, he's not, I mean, he's making his salary and probably his teacher's pension. Yeah. And that's about it. You know, he does not own stocks and bonds, which I just can't fathom why. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, unless it's just, you know, unless he's just saying, hey, look, I'm not really down for the corporation, you know, which I find a little hard to believe too, because, you know, as government, as governor, you're going to have to come into contact with the corporation. You're going to have to do business with the corporation. And just the fact that he's still been able to set in motion the policies in Minnesota that he has in terms of codifying Roe v. Wade, you know, codifying the right to abortion, paid family leave, you know what I mean? These the big ticket issues that Americans support, not just Republicans and or Democrats. You know, I'm very, very excited to see what could happen with this type of campaign, because as you know, with all the, like I said before, with all big business coming out in support of Kamala, that had me a little bit like, oh boy, this is, okay, are we going to get that? Hey guys, more of the same. Don't worry, nothing's going to fundamentally change,
right.
So yeah, I like the optics of Waltz right now. And really, to me, that I can actually say that I'm no longer just voting against Trump. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes. Like Waltz is that kind of guy that, I told you, I've never really been excited or, about Kamala, for whatever reason. And it's not because it's a woman, it's not because it's a sister, because I'd love to see both of those in place. I just, it's just something about her optics that just never really appealed to me.
Yeah, I got you.
But this gives a little bit more like, okay, yeah, let's see what's going to happen now.
Okay. Well, I'll say this, man. It reminds me, it's very Obama-esque right now. And it's funny you should mention big money, because that was one of my issues later on, maybe midway through the Obama campaign, because everybody was from Goldman Sachs.
Right.
It's like, from Rahm Emanuel, that was my biggest issue in the beginning with Obama. I loved the campaign in 2008, but as I saw the cabinet start to fill, I'm like, damn, everybody's a banker. Yeah. But I'm seeing that with the inclusion of Waltz and looking at the situation from a standpoint of, God, this guy is kind of a man of the people. Exactly. And people were concerned about Shapiro and not being chosen. But, after seeing the rally in Philly, Shapiro's not really a real kind of personable guy. He's great on the campaign trail. He's great in giving speeches, but in terms of just the man of the people, he's not. He's a polished kind of politician. And I think she made the choice of not choosing a politician. Right. Even though he is a politician, he doesn't come across as a politician. Yeah. If you saw at one of the rallies, I think it may have been, was it Arizona, where they were outside and it was hot as hell, and he stopped and said, hey, he did, like they call it the Adele moment, where he said, hey, everybody, these people need water. let me stop my speech. We need to give these people some water. They're not looking good. Right. He's thinking about the people, man. Yeah. And I just think the campaign is generating excitement because it represents something, people are trying to get rid of. I think people are burned out on the negativity, man. Mm-hmm, yes. I think, Trump has done so much to divide. And now, we'll get into that tone in just a moment. But on the positive side, I just think, and they don't like to use the word diversity, but I do think, that's what this campaign's going to do. It's going to become more diverse. It's going to be more uniting. It's going to, I hate that they, how do you say it, demonize the word progressive, because, you need to be progressive in some cases to move forward and beyond the negative. Right. And it's just been a dark period, man. And I think people are seeing, let me finish and I'll throw back to you. People are seeing some light. Mm-hmm. They're seeing a political climate possibility that they can thrive in. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, I hate to go back to Obama, but it's the hope thing. I think people are seeing hope. They're feeling hope. They want a new direction, and it's a fresh face. Unfortunately, Brother Joe couldn't do it, because, you can't. I'm not, I know how you protect him, Howie, but, but you can't have the crypt keeper giving hope. It just, I hate to be a negative. Right. I'm not a negative Nelly. I'm not saying that, but the look of both these guys, both these candidates. The VP, and the president much more positive, much more hopeful. I'll go back to you. Go ahead, Talib.
I think it was the word that you used at the beginning of this segment was joy, and that word is being thrown around a lot when people are talking about this campaign. Yeah. It's a joyful feeling, and I've heard him saying it a lot on CNN. MSNBC has been using that word. The Young Turks have been using that word because they have a whole joy camp, the Wednesday joy thing that they do. And it's that word, the way that Hope described Obama's campaign, joy, will probably be the descriptive word of this campaign. And I gotta even say that I felt a lot of joy when the home of John McCain, and mayor of Mesa, John Giles came out and was like, "Hey, man, this is I don't recognize this party." I mean, there are people. I agree with what you were saying, Tommy. People are now, finally realizing that a presidential campaign doesn't have to be heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the more we see, that the longer this campaign goes on, as long as there's no real missteps, I think that will be the joyful wave that carries, Harris Waltz ticket, to the White House.
I mean, how can you hate Minnesota nice? It's like, dude is. I mean, he's just Minnesota nice, and the whole thing is, if you play sports, you know a coach.
Yes.
And I play sports. I think Howie, you played. I don't know, Talib, you play organized ball. When you play organized ball, man, a good, feel good, positive, motivating kind of coach.
Right.
And the guy's won a state championship.
Right.
He's been a teacher. Again, you went down the litany of everything he's done. He's just a likable guy, man. And people Trump is just not likable.
Right.
He's just, Vance is they're not likable people.
Right.
I'm not saying that just because maybe I'm on a different team.
No, it's not.
They're just not
weird.
likable people.
They are. It's the weird
thing,
and the fact that weird has now become this, this anti-Republican cry, throughout the country. It's like, look, man, there's really no other way to describe that.
Yeah.
Guys, you're doing stuff that you shouldn't. I mean, what? It's weird. Yeah.
It's weird. If you ever watch the Adam Sandler movies, where he's the underdog.
Yeah.
And you got the Shooter McGaverns.
Right.
Like the assholes. That's Trump.
Yeah.
Then, he gets his comeuppance at the end, but it's kind of like trying to take grandma's house,
Right.
It's just that whole vibe of these are the guys, and then at the end they try to go hug grandma for the photo op, and grandma's like, "Get away from me, you weird dude."
Right.
Right. So yeah, I think people are used to seeing the phoniness.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to Trump in a minute, but I want to end with you on this, Howie, and then we'll go to Trump. Last word on Walz and Harris Waltz.
Biggest thing for me, man, is energy, and then you use the term Obama-esque. I've received probably 6 or 8 text messages that I haven't received prior to the ticket changing with Harris on top. So it's just been a lot of energy, a lot of good vibes, joy is the term you used earlier. Those are the type of things I think people are looking for. Every time you turn around when it comes from the Republican side, they're pointing, it's this, they're pointing your finger at people, talking down to people, using terms like nasty and negative terms. That's not, I agree. It's so heavy. And I think moving forward, now the issue is you got to maintain this energy for another 100 days,
Yeah.
And something you have to do from your team. They brought some good people in from the former President Obama's team. I know a young man out of Georgia is now on the team. you have to maintain that energy for the next 100 days, and then people have to go out and vote. So yeah, I'm all in, and I'm enthusiastic, far more enthusiastic than, to use a Thomas term, the Crip guy running for office.
Hey, let me say this out of respect. Thank you for your service, brother.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta move. You gotta you gotta move on.
I'll close with this. He's still doing some good things, man. I think the prisoner swap was his deal.
Oh, excellent.
He's when he closed the door, he's gonna have done a very good job, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, I agree. All right, y'all, let's pivot. I want to play a clip, and let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, let me go ahead and play this clip, okay? And the reason I want to play this clip is the context in which it's given. So here we go.
It was another press conference Thursday where the truth was not necessarily a priority, but there was also some breaking news. At Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump said he's willing to debate Kamala Harris on September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th. The Harris campaign has accepted only the September 10th debate for now. As far as the rest of the press conference, there were numerous falsehoods. For example, Mr. Trump addressed the issue of crowd size again, given the turnout at Harris campaign events. He even compared the crowd at his speech near the White House on January 6th to the crowd that attended Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech.
The biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was that day, and I'll tell you, it's very hard to find a picture of that crowd. You see the picture of a small number of people relatively going to the Capitol, but you never see the picture of the crowd. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken. I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me.
The House Select Committee estimates about 53,000 people attended the January 2021 rally before the riot. It's been widely reported over the years that Dr. King's March on Washington drew around 250,000 people in 1963.
I don't even want to give my feedback yet because I don't want to bias you guys. I'm just going to start with you, Talib. Because I'm just going to hold off. Talib. You okay, Talib?
I guess because he's not, he knows that he can't talk about penis size. Now he's talking about crowd size.
What's his fascination with crowds, man? You're right.
Look, the guy. See,
I'll get to it in a minute. Now, Talib, as in the entertainment business, crowds matter to people because you look at revenue. A lot of cases,
right?
So if you're from a former boxing promoter kind of guy, building
this dude is P.T. Barnum.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This guy is straight up P.T. Barnum. He has adopted there's one born every minute philosophy. Mm-hmm. And he keeps propagating it. And this is just another example of it. Listen, we know that just because you had, 500 people at your party doesn't mean it was a good party.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
The best parties you've been to probably, and I know, from y'all being college campus guys, were the parties where there maybe have been like 20 to 30 people. And everybody
can I say this real quick,
I mean?
Talib? Trump is the guy who holds the crowd at the door for the line. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to interrupt you. What I'm saying?
I'm telling you, listen, Trump is literally imploding.
Yes.
And what we are seeing right now over the next 90 days is going to be Trump's readjustment. Because people are already saying, he's not making enough appearances. The fact that he's not getting on the road. Like in 2016, he had, way more appearances than he does now. So, it's this whole, I gotta come up. I haven't really fine-tuned my Kamala, whatever he's gonna say,
Right.
He's floundering.
Yes.
He's floundering. And I'm very glad to see that the people who may have been typically afraid to say something because he was this, 800-pound gorilla, are now realizing that it's really just a 130-pound weakling in an 800-pound gorilla suit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Oz.
Yeah.
He's truly the emperor with no clothes.
The clothes on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. For real. And that's it. I'll hold off.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go to you, Howie.
But you're starting to see some Pfizers. You're right, Brother Shabazz. You're starting to see some Pfizers in the Republican Party. Remember, 4 or 8 years ago, no one said anything negative about it.
Exactly.
Nothing at all. Everybody, even after he talked about his wife, they fell in line. You know what I mean?
Right.
The guy out of Texas talks about the man wife, and he still falls in line.
Ted Cruz.
Exactly right. Ted Cruz. But now the Pfizers are starting to come up, starting to show themselves. The guy in the governor of Arizona starting to say, "Hey, this is not our guy." A few other people are starting to speak out. People who would normally have a loud voice, you can't hear them right now. So yeah, and I think their team has lost direction. I think, and I don't want to get on Joe, but I think Joe was an easy target, and now you don't have that target. Now you have to find something, and they don't have the ability to do that. Did you see the J.D. Vance speech? It looked like he had Harris's name in the back, like he was rooting for Harris in the back. You guys should pull that up. He was doing the speech, and the only name you can see in the backdrop was Harris. I think like he was rooting for him. I'll share it with you. Yeah. It's just they have lost their direction. And they just don't know what to do. And you're right. The next 90 days, they're trying to reshape. You haven't been going on tours except this last Montana rally he had the other day where he had a plane emergency. I think he got that one crossed up with the Willie Brown emergency in the helicopter. I'm joking about that.
And you know what, Montana, they're going to win anyway.
It's right. It's a red state already. You're exactly right. So he gained some traction there. So I think they need help, man. And Vance is not helping. I think Vance is a yoke on their neck, and I know we haven't got there yet, but man, Vance has written, this guy was about to write who's the architect of Project 2025. His name is Roberts. He's about to release a book that Vance wrote the forward for, and now they're not going to release it now until after the election.
Yeah, they're trying to distance themselves away from 2025 project when they know it is a big part of the future of, if they get elected, of how they deploy, their.
They got the logo on the shirts. They got the logo on the shirts.
They know they're going to deploy it. They know they're going to deploy it.
Exactly.
They just know it's a negative now, so they don't want to embrace it. Yeah, but go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to circle back, and you actually took the question. When Biden got out and Harris got in, was there enough time to readjust? I think they've done a great job. Now you ask the question on the Republican side. Now that you don't have Biden to target, do they have a time to readjust? And we'll see if they can. Right out the gate, it doesn't appear they can do it, but we'll see with the next 90 days.
Yeah. I'm here to tell you, man, and I've never, again, been a fan of Cheeto. I've never. And it goes back before he ran,
right.
So seeing all this has been, I don't want to say I told you so to MAGA, because MAGA's not over. MAGA's not close to being over because it's a cabal. It's really a cult. It's just the people who have probably been spineless are starting to kind of grow a spine. You're absolutely right. I think you've mentioned this, Howie, and Talib. What I don't like, man, and I'm just happy to maybe see us walk away from when it comes down to Cheeto, is the divisiveness, the name calling.
Right.
All this stuff has been in fashion, which, you can't get anything done. And that's my challenge.
Exactly.
Because I'm cool with anybody who wins, who can get stuff done.
Exactly.
The problem is these guys get nothing done because they're so divisive. The hostility, the tone is aggressive always when it comes down to,
Yes.
He doesn't want any type of collaboration. And I hope that they don't just allow him to frame this border controversy with Kamala, with VP Harris, because the reason we don't have a border agreement is because he told them not to agree.
100%.
He's the one.
Yes.
So the lack of unity, with him, and the reason I played this clip is because this dude will use anybody to make himself look good. Right. He's throwing Dr. King of all. I mean, who does that?
Right.
It's Abe Lincoln last week. Now it's Dr. King. Who's next? Jesus?
Right.
They're almost there with Jesus. They go there.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Oh yeah, you're 100% on it.
They almost go there. They want to go there.
Yeah, they will go there.
They will
Jesus
go there
before this is all over.
Yeah.
He will be the best thing since Jesus. I'm the best thing that's happened to Christians since Jesus. As
a matter of fact, they wanted to call, instead of Jesus, instead of Christians,
right,
Trumpians.
Right.
Oh man.
But it's just I just want it to go away. I mean, I'm cool with just regular. Can we just go back to regular people fighting about issues instead of this? I mean, this is some mean-spirited, dark shit that he brings.
Yes.
And it's just not positive. I can go for a candidate who has good values and a solid platform.
Right.
I don't need to go for him because he's sowing distrust and he's trying to take shit away.
Yes.
Because I've never seen the country in a position where we're taking stuff away.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like maybe you're not getting something, but now you're taking stuff away.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, but go ahead, Talib.
This is also shown, what this part of the campaign has shown is that Trump's target was never policies. It was the person.
Yes,
and that's the whole thing. Look, I don't want to keep just going back to somebody like John McCain, but John McCain was probably the last major example we had of a Republican who didn't do the whole I'm a Republican, I can't work with a Democrat thing.
Right.
And if he wasn't the last, he was definitely one of the best.
Yeah, he works close. Yes.
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Listen, we can have different ideas. We can have different ways that we think that things should be handled and ways that we think things should move.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that on any job site, there is still a foreman, and the foreman has to make sure that concrete is playing nicely with electrical.
Right.
That plumbing is playing nice with HVAC, because at the end of the day, this building has to go up.
Exactly.
So, I don't have a problem with people who don't believe like I believe. I'd rather you not believe like I believe so I can still learn something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We in our bubbles, we aren't challenged. We're only challenged when we have to step outside of our bubbles and actually come into contact with somebody else that has their own bubble.
Right.
And now we've got to figure out a way to still make this building get up in a timely fashion and under budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, okay, I get that. And this whole thing about, Trump and Dr. King, it's like he's feeling himself because he thinks he killed it at the NABJ.
Yeah, good luck there.
so he's like, yeah, well, let me get a little bit more of this, Dr. King.
But
come on now.
It's disrespect. It's just disrespect. It just shows to me it's doubling down on the fact that I don't respect you. I don't respect your culture.
Right.
So I don't respect you enough. So I'm going to take your hero, the man you see as your hero, and I'm going to show you that I'm on the same level as he is.
Exactly.
And you're not even close.
Right.
You're not even, all you are is a name on a building, dog.
Yes, it is.
I mean, that's all you've ever been,
right.
And it's just, my whole frustration about this period that we've gone through has been not him, because he's who he is, but it's been the people who have embraced that has been the most disappointing. And that's not just the politicians or the spineless people like Lindsey Graham, because they are who they are, but it's the people in the country who have said, this is the guy. And, even to the woman who got the fucking tattoo on her forehead that says Trump in red, white, and blue.
Oh, really?
Young woman, too. So how long you got to live with this? I'm talking about, I'm going to send y'all this on this video from TikTok. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, really?
She got a Trump tattoo across her forehead. Not a small one either. I'm talking, it's massive. Right across her forehead. And it just says to, that's what, if anything, this whole era, if anything says Trump, that says Trump.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm just, I hope we're close to it. I'll say this, and I want to wrap it up, and I'll let you guys finish it out. This feels like the end of the Bush era, when people were like, look, you done fucked this on Iraq. You done fucked this at Katrina. We tied.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we're at a point now where that whole 2008 coalition came together because, Iraq was a huge controversy.
Right.
We were all united at 9/11, and then all of a sudden, the dude done lied about Iraq.
Yeah.
We were fighting a war that, we were fighting on a lie.
Right. Yeah.
And then Katrina was the last straw.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just hope people are getting it now and we're moving on. It feels that way. I don't know if we're there yet. That Katrina moment hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So we'll see. Can we sustain it? You're absolutely right. And you guys have said it. Can we sustain this feeling for 90-something days? Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right, last word, just real quick, Howie, a minute on this, and we'll move on to your big thing
I'm
for the
looking
week.
forward to the debate. And if I was a betting man, I would bet that when the border comes up, Vice President Harris talk about the deal they had in place that he canceled. And I hope that's brought up, because Brother Biden didn't seem to bring that up.
He didn't.
No, he did not. Right. So I hope it's brought up during the debate, and I'm looking forward to the 10th. I wouldn't debate him more than once.
I wouldn't either.
I don't think we need to see that anymore. One good debate, let her get her points across, let her establish her platform, because he doesn't ever have a platform.
Because let me say this, Howie. He thought he could cruise.
Yeah.
He thought this was going to be a cruise.
Exactly.
And now it's like, oh no, I can't just sit back at Mar-a-Lago and watch old Dean Martin roast reruns. Right. I got to go out and work.
Well, I wanted to prepare him. I wanted when they pulled him off the road to kind of prepare him to kind of reestablish himself for this debate, because she's going to come at him as if I trust she will, because of her background being a prostitute. He's
never going to prepare. He's always going to. He's never going to. Trump preparing is an oxymoron, bro.
Yeah,
that don't go together.
Yeah.
Last thing to leave, and then we'll go to the big thing of the week.
Yeah.
And I'll start.
Now his age is starting to show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Now, because he's not going to be able to handle the kind of schedule. He doesn't want to handle the kind of schedule that he's going to have to undergo in order to do what he really needs to do to win. So, nah. Hey.
He just, I'm old school, dog. Yeah. He wants to be Don Rickles.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, he thinks he is Don Rickles. He's the Don Rickles. He wants
to be, but he's not funny.
No, at all.
He used to be able to place these names on people. Now it's just stupid.
And and one more thing, the whole Heritage Foundation Project 2025 thing that he's trying to distance himself from. Listen, the Heritage Foundation has been doing this for decades.
Yes.
And sometimes, some politicians may have adopted some of their suggestions, some of their, just for your information, FYIs that they put out. But never has there been a president who had so little of an agenda that he would adopt whatever kind of foolishness that the Heritage Foundation puts out as suggestions for more, for the type of country that they want to see. Excellent. So this, look, guys, this is nothing new. The Heritage Foundation there are plenty. If you really want to know, you should Google, Republican think tanks. Yeah. And see what kind of nonsense these people are putting out there.
Well, they are the Old Testament fire and brimstone.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
That's what they are. It's kind of the world will end. That they're already setting. It's crazy. They're already setting up the mindset of MAGA to believe that the world will end with Kamala. That she's Jezebel. What?
Yeah.
I mean, well,
no lie. You think I'm joking? It's serious.
Gog and Magog going on over there, you know what I mean, in Israel and Palestine right now. You know what I mean? This is,
they try to call her Jezebel. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I mean, and see, for me, when you start doing that
immediately,
I said, no.
Yeah.
I can't go for this. I can't go for this.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong bathtub.
Gotta
go. All right, y'all. Hey, big thing for the week, and I'll start with you, Howie. You got one big thing for the week?
I have.
I have
what you got? 6 big things for the week. No, I'm kidding.
That sounds like Talib.
Right. That's why I only do titles.
I do want to run through just a couple of things. Illinois sheriff retiring. I thought that was hard. I think he's genuinely a good man. Just made poor decisions in hiring. Men's basketball is at 3:00 today, USA. Also, I think we need to expand blacks in the Olympics. We need to do more than just track and field and basketball. I mean, we need to do some rowing and all that kind of stuff. But this is my big thing of the week. I read this week. The ITEP, Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy. If we take away all of this is based on 2010 numbers. If we take away all of the undocumented workers in our country, we're looking at it's somewhere between $11.6 and $13.8 billion loss. I do not think anyone, even though they say it, want to remove undocumented workers from our system. We're talking about state revenue. I said it was state. They don't want to do it. They talk about it, but
no, they don't want to do it.
They talk about they're using it. Yeah. No. If I ever get smart enough, Brother Talib, Brother Talib, to do a PhD, that's what I'm going to do it on the dollars that undocumented workers put into the system. They always talk about what they take out, but they put a number of dollars into the system. And listen, if they are able to do the lawful permanent resident LPR, that number goes up by $2.1 billion. That means these people now can get higher paying jobs and pay additional taxes into the system. Listen, man, undocumented workers, something about people from Latin America or not, people coming across the border. There's a huge Asian population that's coming across the border as well. And they kind of take care of themselves when it comes to dollars. And these people are paying taxes, and our country need them. We just need to understand how to bring them on board full time. That's my biggest takeaway. Thanks, man.
Okay, Talib, what you got?
That was dope. Yeah. Well, I kind of gave mine at the beginning with the break dancing coming to the Olympics. But in addition to that, I just want to say that who has Snoop Dogg almost officially replaced Michael Jackson as the world's most recognized celebrity?
Snoop is the man.
Did you see that NBC?
I'm gonna have to give it up.
Somebody from NBC actually, right? Exactly. A roll of applause. Yo, man, one of the I think it was a tweet from NBC said they need to see Snoop commentating on everything.
You know what I mean? Right? I love the Snoop in Paris, right?
Come on,
what's that? But I gotta say, man, and when you think about how close we came to not having Snoop,
right?
Right.
The verdict, the jury. Yes. I mean, it's I think the brother probably remembers that every day. He probably wakes up in the morning and he's grateful and he's thankful for life every day.
Yeah.
Would you disagree or agree?
I totally agree. I mean, look at
he looked so grateful.
Yes.
In every scenario going forward.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's been a long time. That's a very long time.
Yeah. Living to the fullest, man. You're right. Yeah. You're exactly right.
Yeah,
because he almost did. He almost did.
Exactly.
So I'm glad he sees that every day. Did you have anything else to leave?
Just come on, Israel. We need y'all to stop, bro. This is getting stupid now. This is totally stupid now.
Yeah, that's Lord, that's a whole nother podcast.
I know, brother, and that's why I'm gonna just leave it like that.
Leave it alone. Just
come on,
put it out, put it on the table real quick.
My concern with that is is the war part, but man, you can't even get humanitarian aid in to help these people.
Right,
that's the problem for me. I agree.
Yes. But again, I think it just comes down to Netanyahu. I think this is not a country. This is Netanyahu, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's Netanyahu versus Hamas. I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I've said that before.
This is what happens when a right-wing leader tries to stay out of jail.
Right, a dictator-ish person.
Yes,
You're right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna leave it at that. I do have to say, and I do want to play this clip, Howie. So hang on, I do want to play this. I know you mentioned this.
A new development in the Sonia Massey case. Jack Campbell, the sheriff of Sangamon County, Illinois, has announced he will retire by the end of this month. Massey was shot to death by one of his deputies last month.
I'm going to say this, Howie. He had to go.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because, we don't have a George Floyd Act to protect us.
Right.
So when shit like this goes down, you got to go.
Yeah.
There is no mercy. I think you got to go. The person who shot got to go, and maybe that'll send a message to these folks.
Yeah.
So so I think you can't allow any room for wiggle for the people who are responsible. They got to go.
Yes.
And I think once they start leaving en masse because of this, because of their errors, then maybe they'll get it.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll put some things in place to protect themselves or protect the people.
Right.
But we have no protection.
Yeah, point taken.
So there you go. Gotta
Excellent.
go.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, but we're at war.
Yeah. I think he's genuinely a good guy, but you're right.
Well,
he has to go. Well, I think it's the same thing with Biden. I think Biden is genuinely a good guy, but he got to go.
Yeah. But I can't compare the two. I mean, because I think
I guess.
No, and the reason being is I do have a love for Joe Biden. Trust me. But I think just in terms of, it's just like Nancy Pelosi, it's just like Clyburn. These guys have to, and I'm gonna say this real quick about Pelosi. Pelosi, come on, don't be trying to take credit. Come on, lady, just keep moving. That was one of the most self-serving things in the world I've ever seen from a politician, to kind of pee on the man's grave, and then have a book. I got a book coming that's going to detail everything I did.
Oh,
what are you talking about? All right. Also, I got to say what's up with this. We ain't got a lot of time, just a few minutes. The Dream Team 2024. As we tape, they take on France. I'll probably give the result at the end of the podcast because as we tape right now, we're taping before the actual Dream Team versus France. But the big controversy is Boston Celtics Jason Tatum not getting the airplay. Steve Kerr said, real quick, it's not about what Jason is doing or not doing. It's about combinations and the way that the group has played together. The way Durant has filled in since he came back from injury. He said it's a math problem more than anything. And, when he said that, I agree. Yeah. I will say this. But the optics of seeing Edwards and White play instead of Tatum, that's the problem I have, not Durant. So I would say, dude, cut back on Edwards. He's going to have plenty of time.
Yeah.
White, cut back on them because they played 10 minutes and got, 2 points combined? So I just got to say, dude, look at Kerr. Kerr, you got to look at the optics of this and what it says. I know how you're the coach and it's your way or the highway, but this is the fucking Olympics, dog. So I'm going to say, look at Edwards, look at White. You gave them 10 minutes each. Okay. Cut that a bit and put Tatum in there, maybe in the beginning, because I think Tatum will do more than what Edwards will do. Well, I think he'll do with what White. Maybe White more so on the defensive side. I know it's about defense, but I don't want to get into it too deep. I just wanted to mention that's my time. Yeah. I'm claiming my time. Okay, Maxine, claiming my time. I'm gonna let y'all just 1 minute on it because we got to go. Talib, you had it, and then I'll let you end it, Howie. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, how else, how do you get somebody in there to establish a rhythm if you're not putting them in? You know what I mean?
I mean, there was no way he could even give him a rhythm in Serbia because it was done.
Exactly.
He had to stick with the crew.
Exactly.
I mean, there was no way to put Tatum in.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
He didn't have rhythm.
Right.
So go ahead, Howie.
Well, one thing is he didn't play against Serbia the first time either, so at least he's consistent. I think with Serbia, Tatum is a liability on defense. He's long and nice, but he doesn't move well. His lateral movement is not as well as the two young guy. The guy in Minnesota, what's his name?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and White. They got better lateral movement, better defense. So I think they couldn't put him in there. And so that's why, like I said, consistency is what it is with Kerr and anything before. I think he'll play a little bit against Paris. I think he'll play a little bit against them, but we'll see this evening.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
And again, I'll give the results at the end of the podcast because I think it'll be done by then. Okay. Love your feedback, y'all, positive or negative on the episode. Love your thoughts. Go to Castropolis.net. Again, go to Castropolis.net. The people poll is there. You can leave us a voicemail. I'll play back the best. Big thanks to all our supporters, y'all. Again, the Kamala information is on the website. Big thanks to the big supporters. We love you. Really appreciate it, y'all. And I just, again, thank you, Talib Shabazz. Appreciate you, man, for coming in another week.
For sure.
Howie the Hitman.
Thanks for the invitation. Love the show, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate your support. And I'll see you at the big birthday bash.
Oh, yeah. Bring your dancing shoes.
We'll see you. We coming, bro.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have some Ben Gay on deck tonight for you. Right. But in these, baby, we get low.
I'm just coming in there for it again.
That's funny.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Thanks so much. And let's take a break and we'll come back with the tea with Tonya B. Appreciate y'all. Hey, what's up? This is the G Podcast listeners. How you doing? We want to keep bringing you awesome content without any of the annoying ads interrupting the flow. If you enjoy what you hear, consider contributing to our podcast by giving as little as $1 or whatever you can spare. Head over to our website at Castropolis.net. That's Castropolis.net to show your support. Thank you for being amazing listeners and for helping us keep This Is the G Podcast virtually ad-free. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for more fun and friendly conversations on This Is the G Podcast. Thanks again.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sippin' the tea with Tonya B.
Yes, children, it's time for some GT with the girl Tonya B. right here inside. This is the G Podcast. Remember to like, to subscribe, and to share. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out the Instagram. Again, we give it to you. Everything. Pop culture, news, politics, and of course, me. Let's say get well to Olympian Noah Lyles. He missed making Olympic history when he was struck with COVID in Paris, and then it just spread like wildfire through the entire Olympic Village. He even ran a race and won a medal with COVID. I'm telling you, he was determined, but we hope he gets well soon. And congratulations to all the Olympic athletes on Team USA. But here's one question I have. This whole thing with breaking originated in the Bronx. Legendary DJ Kool Herc. The people that won the medals, not from the U.S., China, Lithuania, and every place else. I don't get that, but it is what it is. Megan Good got another job. Her man don't have no job, but she got a job. You can check her out on Lifetime August 24th in the movie Forever with Taye Diggs. She may have to give him a loan. All right, 50 Cent this week. Doing big things in Shreveport. Got the new studio. He's doing this Humor and Harmony Festival. He's got about 80 zillion people there. He got something for everybody. R&B, you got Monica Monifa, Keith Sweat and Tank. Comedians, Cat Williams, DC Young Fly, Gary Owen. And even for the hip-hop heads, The Baby. I don't know who Skills Baby is, but I do know 2 Chainz. And then Ray J up in there. Don't ask me why. Was Snoop Dogg not the most entertaining part of the entire Olympics? Look, NBC knew what they were doing when they got him. They want to get a younger demographic to watch the Olympics, and they paid him $500,000 a day for 16 days. Do the math. He getting that bag. The Fugees reunion tour, grand opening, grand closing. Are we surprised? No. Lauryn Hill blames it on the media and the promoter Live Nation. No, they tired of her because she's a financial liability. What I'm hearing is that the ticket sales were slow because the price was so doggone high. Lauren stunting, not showing up late, not giving people what they paid for. But here's the gag. The tour will go over to Europe and take place there, but I'm wondering how Pras Michelle got permission to go over there when he's about to go down to the jail. Speaking of who else is going to jail, Nelly. Really, Nelly? Ashanti's embarrassed. Her mother is mad. His son, your daddy's a criminal. No, little baby Cornell Haynes and Ashanti got together. Well, they moved to St. Louis. They're taping this reality show. Apparently, Nelly goes to the casino and gambles a lot. But here's where things got a little murky. When he went to go show his ID to get the money, an old warrant from 2018 for driving without insurance popped up. The cops came in. His lawyer said they're overzealous. But it still doesn't excuse the fact at all. It does not excuse the fact that he had 4 ecstasy pills on him. People still do that? Okay, Nelly. Oh, did you see the rise and fall of Miss Cleo on Lifetime? If you didn't, help yourself and go check it out again. And Beyonce, hey, look, she got bae. Who is she? Our next president, Kamala Harris. Beyonce donated $4 million to her campaign, is letting Kamala use any and all of her music that she wants. And I'm hearing that Beyonce may do a fundraiser for the Harris campaign. Now, we like this governor, is it Ways or Wentz, whatever. We like him because he's the one that signed legislation for the Prince Highway in Minnesota. Janet Jackson's going back to Vegas, and she's kicking it off in December with a special New Year's Eve show. And then after that, she goes on Mariah Carey's coming back in 2025 after her Christmas tour. Oh, Lord, let me see. We don't talk about Kanye because he's crazy as Cocoa Puffs. But anyway, he's now saying that his demons come from his overindulgence in that brown liquor called Hennessy. But then he came out of his face and said Beyonce should let Jay-Z cheat. You know what, Kanye? Go take your half-naked wife, go over there in the corner with R. Kelly, Neo, Nelly, Tyrese, and the rest of those dumb donkeys, and you stay there. Does anybody want to know about a Gary Coleman story? Well, it's coming to Peacock on August 29th. Okay, here we go in a nutshell. Child star, health issues, adoption, parents stole the money, horrible marriage, ended up broke, and left us at the age of 48. Oh, well, there you got it. But I got something for you now, Tommy B. Sade alert, Sade alert, Sade alert. It's been 12 years since her last album. But hold on to your wig, people. New music from Sade is scheduled to drop in the spring of 2025. Now, I ask you, who else can go away for that long, come back, and people stand in line like they're giving out stimulus checks again? Only Sade can do it. I'm your girl, Tonya B, giving you all this entertainment GT right here on This Is the G Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and check out the Birdwire 24/7 on Castropolis.net. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, Tonya B. Don't forget, y'all, support us, subscribe, go to Castropolis.net. Thank you, TikTok, man. Our TikTok support's been good. We need more followers, though, at This Is the G Podcast. Don't forget to give at Castropolis.net. Thank you to all who support us with their bank accounts. Yes, thank you so much. You make it happen. Finally, congrats to the Avengers, aka the U.S. men's basketball, man. 5 straight gold medals. Congratulations. And with that, y'all, episode 233 is in the can. Have a great week, y'all. Peace and power to the people.
You've been listening to This Is the G Podcast. This Is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.